Hey, this is Alan with GameLark, and I'm joined by SwigglesRP and 16InMono to talk about their brand new album, Shanty Raid, based on Donkey Kong Country 2.
Hello.
So, how's it going?
Good. It's been exactly, I want to say, 1 month and some change since we put out the album on Louder and everywhere, and the reception's been awesome.
It's been 1 month since my life was absolutely hell.
Yeah, it was a 5-6 month process too of idea making and recording and a lot of mixing and planning.
I hated every second of it.
It was torture. The real hard part isn't when it's recorded, it's when it's out and you have to tell people to buy it or listen to it or
you have to be associated with this guy over here.
Yeah, it's a sad thing.
Awesome. So who can take the blame for this album? Whose idea was it?
It was Ro.
It was like a 60-40. I'd say
it started with I had messaged you like way back and I was like,
November.
You know, it'd be a cool idea, Donkey Kong Country 2 pirate album. And then you were like, and then Rose said, oh wait, I'm this person, I'm just supposed to do an album with this game with this person. And then I messaged him out a month later. I was like, he's like, oh, it seems like a better idea, but I'm still got it on with this guy. And then I messaged him a couple months later and he was like, okay, well let's just do it. The other guy's not doing it anymore.
It really happened out of like that though. I transferred to a different college actually, and that took on like a humongous amount of like time, and I didn't do like as much videos and crap.
Mm-hmm.
And he had that idea, and I always wanted to do either Chrono Trigger or Donkey Kong or like maybe like Pokemon or something as a EP. And eventually it was just like, you know, there's only going to be one person motivated to do this who will make this well, make it sound well, and you know. Like, eventually this pirate idea started bouncing in my head, so we ended up talking, how do you want to do it? Let's just throw out some names of songs, and the ideas kind of stacked up slowly. And then I wanted to try to improve how we release things based on, you know, how GameLark remixes, like, the releases come out there, Materia, and, you know, just so that, like, when we put it out, nobody's just like, oh, you made an album? I had no idea. That happens still today though.
Yeah,
but
doing preview and lead up and all that.
Yeah, but now we have to deal with somebody telling me that they regret buying the album, so that's a first.
Yeah.
Did somebody actually say that?
Somebody said they regretted buying the album.
The sing-alongs.
Yeah, the sing-alongs were too much for them.
Yeah.
Man, 2 out of 7 tracks had voices on them. Oh my god.
You have ruined the entire...
Ruined the whole album.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the next question. I think that vocals are integral to pirate metal, and following on with that, had either of you heard of pirate metal before this? Bands like Ailstorm, Swashbuckle.
I love Ailstorm.
I actually listened to more thanks to Brandon, but I'd only heard of Ailstorm and more like Celtic influenced rock. Like I like to say Iron Maiden kind of played a bit of a role, but it's fantastic.
Played a bit of a role coming from the king of references here.
I actually put in
all over the album.
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is in the last song, I think.
There's so many. I put in a lot of memes. I want to warn anybody who ever decides to work with this guy that it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. The beginning of Locking Jaws, actually, Brandon found an Ailstorm intro that we kind of replicated. So there's definitely quite a fair amount of like pirate metal bands, like the ones you list and stuff. And yeah, I think there's also some musicals and stuff that kind of play a little influence.
They seep their way in there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. Maybe some high quality rips got in here. I'm not sure.
Some high quality rips definitely got in there. I think Jig Jig and what is it? I think like listening to the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack and like a few other things nestled their way into the lyrics and songwriting. Like Jig Jig especially is like a full-on bar sing-along, and Piracy, I wrote it more like a little interlude to, you know, fill in the bridge between like metal and us singing and shouting.
Awesome. And for anyone that hadn't heard of pirate metal before this, I'm going to include a short list of pirate metal bands in the description, just so that if you liked this album, you can find even more music similar to this. There's like 5 bands that I think are listed as pirate metal.
You can find all 5 down in the description.
Yeah. So speaking of music in the album, guest collaborators. I noticed that you had a few on the album. Yeah. How'd you guys go about recruiting a crew? Is that like that?
Okay. I don't know who came up with the idea first, but I think my first idea was Jig Jig was a kind of a group of pirates in a like tavern just singing along. I was like, we need a lot of people to sing on this. We didn't get a lot of people to sing, but I got enough that I could throw some more voices, and then me and Ro did like 4 takes each of like different lines.
I think like Brandon said, like we really wanted to, first of all, like, you know, this is a 2-man project, but a lot of our friends are the reasons why we have people watching. And so, you know, we were lucky to have our friends Hell 6 Bells, Shake Elite, Jackson Perotti, Alejandro, H Music, Michaela Noctigal from Tetramino, our buddy Brian Lafford, Tara Catalo, and then of course, like both of us, we sang a lot of layers. Brandon did a ton of like sound effect works, and
I did all the transitions between songs. Speaking of transitions, did you know there's an album version without the transitions? I didn't promote this. I forgot to.
It's okay.
But it's out there.
What are you
If
talking
you don't
about?
want to listen to interludes and you just want the songs, there's a singles version.
Is there?
It's also better if you're interested in like learning the songs, I think, or playing along.
Where's that? Where can you find that?
Yeah, you can find it on Louder.
I believe Brandon, your links.
It's also on all of iTunes and Louder.
Yeah.
And
So there's
Spotify.
2 versions of the album?
Yeah,
There's the regular version, which has all the in-between parts of songs, like little talky bits. But then there's a version, because we had talked about it, and I said, I don't think people are going to like jumping between tracks and having to deal with jumping in with transitions. So I said, how about we release 2 versions, where one has all our fun transitions, and the second one is just more like a typical song-to-song thing.
I like the transitions, though.
Thanks.
But I guess you're giving people options.
It was
so
a
that's
good
always
idea so that we could respect those who just wanted to engage traditionally.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, so for guest collaborators, obviously, like In the Pub for a Jig and Piracy both have sing-alongs from other people shouting, and we have a guest solo on March to the Battle. We have Ryan Lafford playing French hornet and trumpet, and Jackson Perotti, doot doot. We have him playing accordion on the first track, Piracy again.
According to Ro, he also played on the 4th track.
I forgot because due to time crunch, we actually used a plugin, and Brandon's plugin just happened to sound enough to me to where I was like, oh yeah, Jackson totally played on that. And Tara has this really cool solo at the beginning of Bramble Symphony.
She denies any Undertale reference, but I'm holding her to it.
She definitely plays.
She definitely did an Undertale reference, but she denies it.
All right, well, let's let the internet decide. Answer in the comments. Do you hear it?
But yeah, it was nice to have guests, even though like it's not like a guest full album. It definitely stands out. And again, like this is a collab album, so it's nice to have like 50-50 of each of our styles represented, let alone bringing in other friends. So
it's a collab album as far as they know.
So speaking of tracks and all that, favorite track for each of you?
Brandon, go first.
I'd have to go with actually I'd say Sticker Brush and Rescued and Conquested. That was actually my favorite ones. Mostly because the last track kind of let us both kind of go through with just letting solos come out naturally, even though I did not reference anything in Ro.
That's not true. You did the lick.
I did the lick, but at least it wasn't Undertale.
I actually didn't do the lick this album though.
You didn't do the lick this album, but you did Undertale
and
twice.
Flintstones and
Kingdom Hearts
and Kingdom Hearts, and what else? Okay, that's probably all the memes there. I've referenced other Donkey Kong songs. My favorite songs would probably be Bramble Symphony as well, because I think that's the song that like represents both of our styles very actively. Even though I like did rough arrangement and stuff, like Brandon changed and improved like all the rhythm sections, and it became like the heaviest, fattest song ever.
Dankest.
And it's really fun for me to play, and I don't know, it's just a really good song. I also kind of like Locking Jaw, because I think that's the one that's like, just like you show someone that and they're just like, okay, I kind of get what the album
so
is.
many times.
I played through the album on stream, but I think Locking Jaws and Brambles are easily requested every single time the most fun to play. And I also am proud of the solos in the first one. So.
We've got so many dumb I was so upset.
I think
I was very upset a lot.
Well,
that song starts with a reference to Forced Interlude, and then it goes into Flintstones, and then the rest of it's just like a bunch of traditional thrashy stuff. And then I did a dive bomb without a Floyd Rose, which
nice.
It was horrible. It was a bad album.
It was a terrible album.
This is the big question. Would you do another album together?
Fuck no.
I would rather
Emphatic response from 16InMono.
I would rather make an album with like Notepad++.
I would rather make an album with Fred Durst.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's rough, dude. That's kind of uncalled for.
Would you do it for the Nookie? Would you though?
I would. I mean, you don't know how good Nookie Fred Durst gives, man.
Oh,
I would give it. No, in all honesty, it would probably be way down the line because
it would be down the line.
This is so much stress.
This is a lot of stress, a lot of work, and I think we would do better with like maybe even doing it as a band, like just a different level of organization and approach. But I would easily say Shanty Raid is my favorite thing I have done outside of like mass group work so far on YouTube.
I'm so happy it's over.
I'm so happy it's not over until we sell it. That's the other thing. Like we poured hours into making the album while balancing life and our own YouTube channels. And now it's just as difficult to market it and share it. And it's not like this is a game that just came out. People aren't like talking about Donkey Kong Country every day. So
they might be.
I mean, it would be nice. Every time I try to stream Twitch on and perform it, I always try to like throw in a few songs there and throw the links because I want both of us to have the end result of working on it so much.
Are you talking about twitch.tv/SwigglesRP?
No, it's 1987.
Oh, because you're stupid and you didn't get the right one.
I changed it like 4 years in. What do you want me to do?
Wow.
Delete your account.
No, there's too many followers on it to where I'm scared.
Awesome. Well, thank you both very much for talking with me. And for all you listeners, if you haven't heard Shanty Raid or picked it up yet, now is definitely the time.
You can check out a music video on both of our channels.
You're missing nothing.
March to the Battle is on Brandon's, and you're going to see Locking Jaws on mine. It's my latest upload, and you can check it out on Spotify for free, or you could pay for it like a nice person. And it's on iTunes, Louder, Google Play.
I put a torrent up. Neither of them know.
He pirated it.
Oh,
I pirated my own album.
This interview is over. No more puns.
Thanks for listening, friends.
All right.
I hated every second of it.
Thank you.
Finally catch these monkeys.